Okay. That's close enough for noon. We can do this. I've been waiting for a while, so. Alright, this is going to be Hiveswap Volume 10. I was trying to look up where I can buy this. I was looking for it on Steam. It doesn't exist on Steam apparently yet, but it's there and it's here. But I was going to do that today too, but I guess I can't. Anyway, Volume 10 of Faraway Lands and Nearby Pals. You've been lucky enough to acquire a bounty of friendship since you arrived on this planet. But there's still an emptiness nestled right in the crook of your heart's atria. Making one more friend will fix it. Maybe this next one will expand inside your chest like a sponge in the bath, pushing out all your sadness, loneliness, and insecurity. After all, number 20's the charm. Alright. Okay, that's funny. That caught me off guard. Oh, I know exactly what kind of character he's gonna be like. Anyway. Cute, happy little sunshine boy. Let's go Zebede. Zebede. Zebede is probably the correct one. Tonight you're abuzz with excitement. Wait, no, your palm husk is vibrating in your pocket. One of your friends is contacting you. You pull it up and a notification pops up. Buzzing is requesting to add you on Chitter. The message is accompanied by a little icon, blue with a silhouetted winged animal. Some of the similarities between this planet and your own are starting to stretch your powers of belief and coincidence. Whatever. You pull up the app and read the messages from, could it be, your potential new friend? Oh my god, hi! I hope it's okay to contact you. Oops, I should introduce myself, haha. I saw your picture on Sarava's stream. I'm one of their biggest fans. But now I'm one of yours. Love those looks. Anyway, I would love to chat if you're open to it. If not, it's okay, you can just ignore me. Everyone else does. Oh no. Oh, not this person. Oh. Oh, this is gonna sound terrible, and I'm sorry if anyone thinks they mean you when I say this, but I've encountered this exact person. No. Oh dear. Oh boy. Okay. Could this be the universe reaching benevolently down to do you a solid? It's like being given a giant pile of money unasked. You didn't have to do anything for this friendship. You didn't even have to walk anywhere. All you had to do was join the fabled social media, and it literally appeared in your pocket. Your hands are shaking a little as you go to respond. You don't want to seem too eager. Or do you? You have no idea how to approach this. You thank Buzzings for his compliments and say that you would be happy to talk sometime. In an instant, a notification pops up inviting you to download another app. You do it and a video screen opens. Suddenly you can see your new friend's face. He's sweetly round and roly-poly and smiling at you broadly. Hi, I'm Speed. I hope it's not too sudden to gripe you like this. Is it okay? Oh my god, you don't have to respond to that. Sorry for being weird. Let's start over, haha. How do you know Sarava? Apart from being extremely friendly, this troll also seems to run both sides of the conversation by himself. Befriending him is the least effort you've ever put into anything. His enthusiasm is really cute, but there's something about him that unsettles you. Looking at his hopeful face gives you a dark stab of humiliation you don't quite understand. You swallow down the discomfort and tell him the story of your friendship with Sarava, leaving out Sarava's personal background. He hangs on your every word. That's so cool. I wish I could hang out with you guys. Oh my god, not that I'm implying you'd want to hang out. It's just, no one ever comes to visit me. He takes out his phone and taps a few keys. A notification box pops up in front of the video. It's a direct message from the buzzing that just says, You ask him why that is. I live in the middle of nowhere. It's good for the bees, but I guess no one really thinks it's worth the effort to come all the way out here. It's just me and my Lucis, and he can't really do much around the hive. It's fine. He really says the word sigh out loud. Despite saying it was fine, he seems dejected with a distinct downward angle to his shoulders. Sorry, his shoulders. His buzzy accent is kind of getting to you. Ask more about where he lives. Ask him if it's really fine. You can tell him you'd understand if he's not okay with it. After all, you say, it would really hurt your feelings if your friends didn't make any effort for you. Isn't that what friends are supposed to do? He gives you a grateful smile and some tension releasing from his frame. Oh, I would never ask that of anyone. I don't want to be annoying. Like, sometimes I really wish someone would take the time to visit, but I totally don't blame any of my friends for not coming. Like, I understand you have to decide which friends comes first, and I just don't. Some people are just cooler and more fun than me. It's understandable. This really must be your lucky day. First of all, no one has threatened bodily violence towards you in the past 10 minutes. Your fear for your life is at a low-key, reasonable level. Second, this troll is making it really obvious that he wants to, what he wants you to do. This is a total slam dunk of a friend opportunity. Oh boy. Say you visit. No other option. Zebede's face transforms utterly. It's astonishing. He goes from sullen and shadowed to utterly radiant. Your heart pangs with an overwhelming surge of fellow feeling. True, you've seen other trolls react emotively at the sight of meat and blood and your own body sparkling under the moonlight, but Zebede is the only one with such an extreme reaction to friendship. Man, you are really feeling this little guy. You'll come? Really? That's so cool! Thanks! This is gonna be so good. I'm gonna get all the best snacks, and my Lucius is really cool. You like him. This is so exciting. You leave Zebede to his preparations, even as the bubble of joy inside you goes a little wobbly. You aren't used to such high expectations from prospective friends. Mostly people just expect you to be an imbecile. You absolutely can't screw this up. You made a promise to your brand new friend. Unfortunately, that promise is to visit him in a house that is, by his own admission, so far away that not even people who know what the fuck is going on can be asked to find it. No, by God, the chat is full of bees already. You haven't thought this through, but that's never stopped you before. First things first, what old friendships can you call on to help you out? Who is likely to have a vehicle of some kind? You can always call up to Gora to see what he thinks, but you don't want to be too needy with him. I may see it, well, she doesn't look tall enough to reach the pedals. Zebra, no, just no. Who are a strong, independent alien who don't need no troll. You also don't think aliens are allowed in public transit, and you don't know the number for troll taxis. So, you'll do crime. Perfect. What did Kolna do when she stole a car? Punch the lock off with one big fist. You won't be punching off any doors, but eventually you'll find a car that isn't locked, almost like someone helpfully left it for you. Haha, sucker. And prick slightly at your conscience as you slide into the seat and fire up the autopilot, heading out into the country once again. But recently, anything that isn't brutal, indiscriminate violence kind of doesn't faze you. So you stole the car. Big deal. It's not like anybody died. This is it. So begins your gradual slide into total moral iniquity. A hardened criminal. That's you. Zebede does look pretty far out. He hadn't been exaggerating. He used the time to curl up in the back seat and catch some sleep, all the while trying to ignore the fact that the car reminds you of being inside a large, squishy animal. Does Alternia have Uber? I don't think so. At least you get a few radio channels out here. The bee's hive is big and buzzing, literally. You hear a persistent drone of bees, and standing right outside is the boy himself. He's so excited he's bouncing on his toes, clapping his hands together. He has a gold symbol in his shirt. You wonder if he's a psychic. You've finally been here long enough to pick up on racial stereotypes. Go you! You're here! You actually came! I seriously can't believe that someone actually went out of their way to visit me. Well, you don't really have a way to go out of, but you keep that to yourself. You are more than happy to accept the friendship points. Zebede leaves you to his hive, which, like Skillas, looks like he made a lot of it himself. There are hanging baskets of flowers and plants everywhere, and a zigzag shelf holding up a stack of colorful books. In one corner is a big screen TV and an entertainment center. Zebede this little honeybee thing, so cute. Zebede vanishes into another room and leaves you to get comfortable on the big couch, which is unsubtly striped yellow and black. The buzzing is pretty loud in here, too. When you look around for bees, you're not thrilled about the bees, honestly. You wish there was some music on your phone to drown them out. You're thinking about following Zebede and seeing if he needs help, when your phone starts to vibrate. You look down and recognize Sarava's username. He's, what is he? He is, Light Prospect, Gempio sign of the concise. Answer it. Might as well. You have no idea how long Zebede's gonna be in there. And if there's anyone with this music, it's this troll. Hey, dude. What's up? Can't believe it took you this long to get a chitter, LMAO. Damn, you're like really lost without my help, huh? Looks like you only got 2 followers, though, LMAO. You can feel some nameless tension, and you bleed away at the thump of the lo-fi chill hop beats murmuring softly through Strava's mic. If only you could just go spend time with your cool friends and stop making new ones, but even the thought makes your stomach wring itself out like a washcloth. There's no point wishing for things to be different from how they are. You'd do anything for new friends. Anything. You ask them if they have any chitter advice. You know, how to be a cool guy online. I mean, you definitely came to the right troll. But I don't know if I should be, managing your brand more than I already did. It's just risky for me, you know? It's hard enough maintaining my image as it is. Other streamers always on my bulge, LMAO. Doesn't mean we can't hang, though. I mean, it was really chill last time. Also, I need my clothes back. You're sure, Sarava, that you still definitely have their clothes, and that you totally did not destroy them in an epic battle to save a giant collie. That's cool, no worries or anything. I was wondering if you wanted to hang out today. If not, it's chill. I got all sorts of shit I can get up to, LMAO. You know how it is. But yeah, let me know. Oh wow, how did you suddenly become so popular? Maybe this is what happens when you finally get online. Not only are you hanging out with one friend, you got another one clamoring for your attention. Social media is amazing. You tell Sarava you would love to chill, but you're currently out in the middle of nowhere hanging with someone else. Maybe Sarava has heard of him before? Zebede Tongva? Certainly everyone on the internet knows each other. I don't know. Sorry, LOL. You spell out Zebede's chitter handle. Sarava's face does a complicated dance between shock, worry, and wry amusement. Oh, dang. LMAO. What are the odds? Small internet. So Sarava does know him. I mean, I know of him. Is Sarava's window based on the troll's suburb logo? What, the just it being a hexagon shape, I think that's just a thing with Troll Society. They really like their hexagons. Man. Awkward. Are you guys tight, though? You'll tell Sarava that you aren't tight yet, pretty loose, but you're working on it, which is why you're currently in the middle of nowhere, sitting on this bee-themed couch. Sarava scratches awkwardly between their horns. Is that like what you go online to do? That whole scene? Scene. The only scene you know about is the friendship scene, and possibly the clown scene, and the meat scene. Actually, you may be in more scenes than you give yourself credit for, and you get the feeling you're right to the edge of another one. You can taste it, and it makes your stomach growl. You tell Sarava whatever the scene is, you're definitely not part of it. You don't even know what they're talking about, so what are they talking about? Not to, like, talk shit or whatever, because God knows golds who live in a glass hive of tenuously curated online social interactions shouldn't throw stones or whatever. Fuck knows I got up to some shit back in the day. But you maybe shouldn't hang out with this dude. Especially when you're, like, right on the edge of breaking out yourself. I mean, you have to be careful with this shit. I told you what happened to me, internet fame isn't a joke. They gesture vaguely towards their missing eye. Oh, shit. Is Zebede gonna be dangerous? Hmm. Hey, let me just link you. A link pops up in the Gripe chat box. You follow it to what appears to be a fanfiction account. Nothing wrong with a little fanfiction. You've never been much of a writer yourself, but you're pretty pro anybody doing whatever they feel like as long as it's not gruesome murder. You're a real chill dude that way. I mean, right, yeah, same. Hell yeah. I'm not trying to judge or whatever, but you'll see what I mean. Scroll down. You scroll past the first few pages. Most of these seem to be about some band you've never heard of, and then almost at the end you find, oh, damn. This appears to be a fanfic about Sarava. You don't click, though. You kind of get the idea from the tags. Well, Sarava is a big deal, after all. You guess it makes sense that people would include them in their, fantasies. You do it all the time, in a friend way. Yeah, you get what I'm saying now, though. I mean, live your dreams, right? LMAO. Any guy on the internet can write whatever he wants about me, but, like, I don't want to see it. Just a heads up, you know. You get to how that could be a little awkward. You tell Sarava that you'll be careful with your infant internet fame. Oh, no. Zebede's just a person who's really nice and wants to be friends, but just has zero social skills. Oh. I feel terrible for saying this because it's like the only way you're gonna get social skills is by being social and by trying things out and failing and learning and stuff, but it's painful being the person interacting with the person who has zero social skills. Because it's like, every interaction is gonna be me being mean to this person because either me being uncomfortable or me being mean to this person. So it's just, it's just awkward dealing with awkwardness, you know what I mean? Either I'm going along with an awkward situation that I'm uncomfortable with, or I'm shutting you down at every turn because all of your suggestions are awkward because you're being awkward. So you feel terrible, but I'm not trying to make you terrible, I'm just trying to socially instruct you. Oh. You doubt anyone will ever write anything about you. Who'd want to read about your dumb fuck exploits? Yeah, LMAO. Come over whenever, I'll smoke you up. Great, more bug ass. You end your call with Sarava and navigate back over to Zebede's fanfiction account. You pick one of the ones not about Sarava, one of the teen-rated ones. Oh god. You don't have anything against erotica, but you'll save it for later. You don't know any of these characters, and the context is doubly insufferable, the troll music business. But if this really is Zebede's writing, it's pretty good. You have such talented friends. Hey. Sorry it took so long. Shit, Zebede sneaks up you from behind. You quickly lock your phone, but apparently not quickly enough. How did you find this? Oh god, you went searching for me? I thought we were friends. What? Of course you're friends. Friends don't go digging through each other's shit. I would have showed you my fic if you just asked. You tell me you absolutely did not go looking for it. Sarava gave it to you when they called you up just now. Zebede's face closes down. Is it just you, or has the sound of the bees gotten louder? Oh, right. So your cool friend Sarava told you. I see how it is. No, they just called you. You just answered the phone. No, it's fine. I totally get it, huh? Even coming all this way out here, I'm still not a priority. It's fine. It's not even a big deal. I'm totally used to it. You and Sarava. What are you, mate sprits? You are absolutely not mate sprits with Sarava. You are not mate sprits with anyone, as far as you know. Fuck, having so many friends is exhausting. Oh, really? Like, your life is so great. I get it. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. 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 No, no, no. You have just so many friends and you're so popular and everyone wants to spend time with you. Zebede is crying and not trying to hide it. It's very sad and extremely awkward. You feel terrible, also kind of like a dickhead. You're always doing all this complaining about your lot in life when, to tell the truth, you've actually got a lot going on for you. You have all these amazing friends who go out of their way to check up on you and ask if you want to hang out. Of course, all that complaining is just in your internal monologue. It's not like anybody can hear your thoughts, thank God for that. Well, I'm so glad that you and Sarava have each other. Maybe you can go hang out with them and make fun of me some more. You try to tell Zebede you were absolutely not making fun of him. You were just curious about his hobbies and interests. You absolutely want to read his fanfiction. But this kid isn't listening anymore. Fuck, you hope the car has enough gas to get you back to civilization. Awkward. It's a little spider vehicle. Jesus. Oh, Zebede. You're not a bad person. You're just terribly, terribly underdeveloped. I'm feeling the second-hand embarrassment in the chat, by the way. I'm feeling it. Okay, let's try that again. Let's go for that bad end I missed at the beginning there. Okay. Ask him more about where he lives. You say it must be nice to live in the countryside. You mentioned that you did get to see some of the rural alternium when you meet Skillet, and it seemed beautiful. Zebede's face twisted into a grimace. Yeah, I guess. Sensing this is a moment for sympathy, you tell him you're sure his friends would come visit if they were able to make the trek. Sure. It sounds like you did visit another troll that lives in the countryside, though. So I guess you thought she was cooler than me. Oh, God. Oh, no. So that's like, whatever. I don't need my friends to pick me first. You struggle for words. You want to reassure him, but you also don't know him that well yet. Pained internal noises. You weakly protest that you didn't mean to say Skill was cooler than him. You don't even know him. You didn't even know him then. Maybe you'll be able to visit him in the future too. Yeah, maybe. I've heard that before. He's not rejecting you, but you get the sense that a wall has been raised. You're sure you're going to keep chatting with Zebede from time to time, but you get the sense you're never going to become a true friend. You're stuck in an acquaintanceship limbo. Looks like you failed to earn his trust. That stings. It stings, I get it. Oh, Zebede. Oh, Zebede. It's so terrible, too, because I have absolutely been on the other side of this. I have been the Zebede before. So it's like, I know exactly how you feel and what you mean when you do things, but it's just so awkward. Is it fine? I'll visit. Cool. And then let it go to voicemail. You decide to just let the call go to voicemail. You're busy with a different friend right now, and you can just call them back when you drive home. Or not home, but the closest you've got right now. It will give you something to do besides sleep. You'll mess around on your phone for a little bit, filling out your profile when you're cheating. Alien Invasion of 1. Just here, I guess. That's honestly the best you can come up with. You aren't quite sure how your age would translate to troll years sweeps, so you don't bother with that. You've already gained some new followers, Sarava retweeted your intro tweet, or chirp, or whatever. Zebede comes back in with a tray of snacks and 2 glasses of something bright red that you hope isn't Fago, or blood, but that goes without saying at this point. Hey, who are you talking to? I heard your palm house go off. You tell him that you weren't talking to anybody. You let the call go to voicemail. Does he really think you're the kind of person who would take a call from someone else while you're having a hang sesh? Heck no. Oh, you didn't have to do that. Zebede says that, but he's obviously incredibly happy that you did. He sets the tray down and hops up on the couch next to you. So, what do you want to do? I have a bunch of really cool stuff we could check out, but I didn't want to make you just do whatever I wanted. I know we barely know each other. See, he's fine when nothing, like, triggers his insecurities. He's perfectly, but he just has so many things that could trigger his insecurities. You tell him that whatever he wants to do is fine with you. You aren't picky in any sense of the word. Zebede seems a little at sea by your lack of opinion, but eventually puts on the first episode of a pirate show. This is nice. It's nice to just chill for a little while. But you barely get through the opening credits before Zebede changes his mind and puts on a show about space pirates instead, but then he gives up on that too. He keeps looking at you for input, but the extent of your experiences with troll pop culture is Remley's knockoffs and that one shitty romance flick Philippa took you to see. You are not informed enough to have an opinion. You are seriously down for whatever. Zebede does the same thing with video games for a while, becoming increasingly more distressed. You feel deep empathy at his plight, but also mild annoyance. You understand this unreasonable fear of beefing it in front of your friends. You feel like that pretty much all the time. You eventually suggest to Zebede that you could just watch the last thing he watched on GrubTube. Zebede goes a delicate gray color that you've come to realize is the troll version of a blanch. Yeah, we could do that for sure, but you know a guy's GrubTube queue is, it's kind of personal. Not that I don't trust you. If you can't trust randos you met online invited to your house, who can you trust, right? You feel that way too. You also felt the overwhelming urge to throw yourself into the arms of strangers since you crash-landed down here. He tells Zebede that you aren't going to judge him. You don't judge your friends. An overwhelming look of trembling gratitude comes over him, and once again you feel an uncomfortable pulse of empathy. You are used to being the desperate one. You aren't sure how you feel about this turnabout, all this social power. Okay. The two of you scroll down through the history on his GrubTube account, and you find yourself choked up by the incredible trust he is showing in you right now, letting someone behind the curtain. There doesn't really seem to be anything worth getting stressed over, no porn or anything. He does have a lot of videos of Sarava, specifically ones where they're actually on camera. Oh yeah, they're so cool. It's so rad that you guys are tight. I really want to meet them someday. He sighs, then he sighs again, a little louder. You catch on to your part in this bit and tell him that you can probably figure out a way to make that happen. You hope you don't have to follow through on that. Oh, the just obvious, like... It's not that it's manipulation, like... Because the person doing it doesn't think of it that way yet. That's why they're doing it. They don't think they're manipulating. They just like... Oh man, I'm so sad. You know what would make me really happy right now? To get this thing that I want. And then the person they're talking to goes, cool, and doesn't give like an answer, like, and then they just continue on like, but this thing, it's great and it's awesome and it would really make me happy, like trying to fish for it, and it's coming off as super manipulative, but they don't know that. Yeah, it is kind of emotional manipulation, but the person doing it, I can tell, like, Zebede's kind of character, he doesn't know that he's doing it. Yeah. Yeah. Sarah was a busy guy, and you aren't sure they actually let anyone into their hive, well, besides you. But you seem to be the exception to a number of rules. You keep that last part to yourself. The rest of the videos in his recent history are about a band called Hatch to Dance. Music videos, interviews, and compilations of vlogs. You ask him what all this is. You've never heard of HTD, really? They're so cool, they're my fave. I mean, he gets shifty-eyed. I mean, whatever, they're alright, I guess. Their music is kind of catchy, and they have a pretty dope group dynamic. You mentioned that all of them seem to be pretty good looking, too. Really? You think so? You point at a guy with tall horns that swish into hooks and a lot of white hair that falls into his eyes. This guy is particularly handsome. Him? I mean, he's okay, I guess. If you're really basic. Not that I think you're basic or anything. He shows you some of the music videos. They have really high production values and extremely elaborate sets. All of the band members sing and dance and get very close to kissing each other. Yeah, right? There's a difference between people who are, like, definitely being emotionally manipulative and going through, like, the steps to get what they want, and then this guy who's just... He's really just innocently like that. He's been really nervous about showing you this. His deep dark secret was that he likes music videos. Is being into pop stars some kind of cultural taboo? Not really, just... it's kind of lame, right? And I just really want you to like me. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, and you do like him. You just wish he wouldn't say shit like that. It's embarrassing. It also reminds you that you yourself have gone around doing pretty much the same thing, pretending to agree with everything your prospective friends say, lying, saying they're into things you aren't. Yeah, see, even main character gets this. Even main character gets it. Just all around being a big phony. The circumstances are different for you, though. You're an alien, and this is a hostile territory. You don't even have a hive or a lucis or even horns. So it's way less pathetic for you to be like this than it is for Zebede, right? Deep down, you know you're full of shit. You're just coming up with reasons to excuse behavior in yourself that you condemn in others. You hang your head in shame. Zebede, who is not privy to your internal monologue, looks confused. Is it possible that you're doing the wrong thing in your eternal quest for friends? Could it be that... Before you can spiral any further into a full-blown existential crisis, you hear a noise from outside that you really, really don't like. Several noises, in fact. A crash, followed by a thump. Followed by a, get out of here, you fucking piece of shit, you thief! Oh dear. Zebede scrambles around to look over the back of the couch. You can just make out a shape through the window. Hey, this is a totally wild question that I typically would never ask a potential friend, but... Did you steal that scuttle buddy? Funny story. You didn't know how else to get out here. You did it for him, for your nascent friendship. Oh wow, nobody's ever stolen a scuttle buggy from me before. Did you forget to take the GPS chip out, though? Because I think whoever you stole it from found it. GPS chip. Right. Fuck, this is not an auspicious start to your life of crime. Maybe you aren't quite ready to go it alone yet. Another crash and rattle. It sounds like someone is taking pieces out of Zebede's hive. You get up and start for the door. Hey, what are you doing? You can't go out there. They look big. They sound huge. You'll get killed. Right, he's definitely got a point there, but whoever is outside seems intent on demolishing his hive brick by brick, so they're gonna get in eventually anyway. Better for you to go out there now and face the music, so at least this one gets you out of this. Zebede stares at you. Weird, globby golden tears pool at the corners of his eyes. You would do that for me? Nobody's ever offered to die for me before. That's so nice. Yeah, you're pretty nice. It's also pretty idiotic, considering you're about to go give yourself up to a big angry troll whose car you absolutely stole. Well, it's been fun while it lasted. Actually, it's been mostly terrible. Oh well. Goodbye, cruel world. Wait! You have one hand on the doorknob when Zebede's shout rings against the walls and ceiling. No one is touching my new friend! Outside, the buzzing rises to a rattling crescendo, so loud that it no longer sounds like animals. It sounds like weather, or a fighter jet. The intruder screams. You wince, but you are also overwhelmed by gratitude and excitement. Zebede did that for you. The screams stop after a few seconds, and the buzzing gradually recedes. You and Zebede are left staring at the door, then at each other. Behind you, GrubTube is auto-playing an H2D interview. Little ambient crackles of the white electricity you've come to associate with psychics wreathe Zebede before that fades too. He is using a psychic power with the beads. Yeah, the bees! Hello, welcome to Applebee's. Would you like the apples or the bees? Bees. He has chosen the bees! Is essentially what just happened. Yeah, psychics. Did he seriously telekinetically gather up a bunch of bees and just throw them? No, that sounds hard and potentially dangerous for the bees. I more just ask them nicely. I'm bad at it, though sometimes it doesn't work. Well, it sure worked this time. Yeah. Zebede nods, then he nods again. Yeah, that was pretty cool, right? The two of you venture outside to see what's going on. Nothing is going on. The night is quiet. The car is exactly where you left it, and there's no sign of the bees or the intruder. So either they ran away or they got stung so many times they dissolved into sludge. You feel another pang of conscience, but it's not enough to cover up your ecstatic surge of happiness when you see how chuffed Zebede is to have set some bees on a guy. You tell him that you're grateful, you think about adding that you're proud of him, but you don't want to make him literally explode, you let him hug you instead. Guess this means you have a scuttlebuggy now? Yeah, spoils of war. You want some buttery exploded kernels? I make them myself. Well, I put the kernels in a pot and explode them. You tell him it sounds great. He's honestly pretty fun to visit. Minus the sudden attack, you're having a really nice time, and that part was honestly entirely your fault. He should quit putting himself down so much and being such a desperate piece of shit. You mean that in the nicest way possible. It's pretty good messaging. You know, just having to floating around out here. We can be friends! Oh. Oh, Zebede. Okay. So, let's see about Classpect here. He is a light player, and he's definitely really attention-seeking, so I can see, so attention and look at me and, like, this kind of thing, that's how he interacts with light. But the way he does that is, yeah, okay. See, my first instincts there is, page. Like, absolute, page of light here. But I'm just wondering if, like, that's the correct route to go. I was going to think about it a bit more. So it's like, oh, I know exactly the type of, like, personality he is, too. And it's just that really, like, emotionally insecure. And, like, pages don't necessarily, embody things that are emotionally insecure. They're usually pretty good at putting on a confident face. Confident in air quotes. No, Paige is probably the best fit for it, honestly. Nothing else really, like, if you go through the list, he's not a witch. Not an heir. He is emotionally manipulative, but he's not a manipulation class. Not by far. Thief and Rogue, Thief has some insecurities, but, like, he's not a thief of light. You know what I mean? Like, he's just not that kind of character. He doesn't go quite that far. Rogue also, like, they do put on a happy face and feel an inner insecurity that they're not good enough to handle, like, their aspect. And if you consider Rogue of Light, like, Rogue of Attention, like, but I wouldn't say Zebede deep down innerly feels that he's, like, unable to, like, handle attention. He's not at that stage yet, you know what I mean? He just wants attention. Just wants a lot of it. But he also likes to give attention, and that's the thing. Yeah, so Rogue kind of fits, but not quite. Paige just ekes that out just a little bit better there. So, and yeah, he's not any kind of creation or destruction class anyway, for sure. Not a major Asir. If anything, he's somewhere in that, like, relocation, like, thief, rogue, page, knight kind of square. But he just leans more to the passive end of that as well. So, and that's the thing, he's not trying to actually hide anything either. Like, he's not consciously trying to hide anything. In fact, he is being very superly emotionally open. So Paige just fits that a lot more than Rogue. Rogue and Knight tend to, like, naturally put on this sort of veneer of, like, everything's fine, I'm fine, it's fine, fine. And Zebede does that a little bit, but he's also, like, you know, he cries and he doesn't try to hide it at all, right? Rogue and Knight wouldn't do that. Thief would, like, never let themselves look so weak. So, like, Paige is kind of, like, the one here. So he's a Page of Light. With a focus on light as being attention. Okay. So that's Zebede Tongva. Next we're going to go for Tegiri, who I'm so excited for because it looks awesome. This is just the volume of cringe, I think, though. If you know what I mean. Like, if you were ever any kind of cringe, you were either a Zebede or you were a Tegiri. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you went through one of these phases. Maybe both, but you went through at least one of these phases. I was a Zebede. I was not a Tegiri. In an utterly unsurprising turn of events, the knight finds you trolling Eternia in search of, well, trolls. The friendly type, preferably, although you've been known to work wonders with hostile folks too. Your current hunting ground appears to be a primarily teal neighborhood, which suits you fine. Teals live relatively comfortably and are usually only mildly disdainful of you. This strikes you as a good place to search for companionship. You've got another pressing concern, though, a faint glow far on the horizon, which suggests that the sun will be rising soon, a couple hours from now at most. Nights on Eternia seem to last forever, but when the daylight hits, it hits hard, like a truck. But the truck is on fire, and the fire is a nuclear fusion, and the truck is a star. Point is, you're not in the mood for another sunburn. You'd better snag a buddy before it's too late. You, the strange, hornless thing. Ooh, I like his music, though. Don't feel bad if you were a Zebede. I was also a Zebede. We'll be Zebedes together. Speak of the devil. You whip around and spot a troll boy with a stylish hat and a sword sheathed behind his back. His clothes are a little shabby, but he carries himself with a rigid, composed air. What are you, some kind of mutant troll or another sentient creature? Definitely the latter, you say, unless he would prefer the former. But in which case you've learned that, actually... Definitely the latter, you say, unless he would prefer the former, in which case you're that, actually. But mutants, you've learned, are not particularly well liked on this planet. An alien. I won't have to cull you, then. Not immediately, at least. You don't appear to be a cull-on-sight species. Lucky for you that I won't have to lose my blade, and lucky for me and lucky for me to have found a potential comrade. I know what you seek. Shelter and friendship, not necessarily in that order. You're about to speak up, but he's already moving on. You seek the meeting place of the Eastern Alternian Fine Animated Art Appreciation Society. Ugh. I think Asdaya counts as a Tegiri. You know what I mean? Just that side of the cringe. They are different characters, but they're extremely similar. It's like Gamer Bros versus Anime Bro. You know what I mean? Like, there's a Venn diagram that's almost a circle there. You meet the meeting place? Yeah. Or some less cultured souls would call it the Anime Club. Oh, a club! Back home, teachers used to go on and on about how clubs were a wonderful place to meet new friends. You didn't really believe it then, but maybe things are different here on Alternia. You confidently assert that, yes, you are here for the animes. Good. I feared I was going to have to cancel tonight's meeting due to no-shows, but now can proceed as scheduled. Follow me. He gestures toward his hive. Come for the anime club meeting at my house, guys. Begins to stride confidently toward it, but then he rethinks it, pausing to look back at you. Wait, subs or dubs? Oh, no. Who would win in a fight, Asdaya or Tegiri? Oh, probably Asdaya. Probably Asdaya. He's all about that. This guy looks... He's that, you know that Vine, like, I have the power of God and anime on my side, and it's just a little boy holding up a sword screaming? That's the feeling I'm getting from Tegiri. Asdaya can actually kick ass. Okay, but I'm gonna be honest, I like subs. Even on English things. Like, I need subtitles on everything. I'm terrible with hearing. I cannot watch something if I don't know what they're saying, and I'm just not good at, like, listening to things when music is going on. Actually, this music is kind of loud right now, too. Yeah, subs for me. It's entertaining how wrong you are. But even the greatest of Alternia's philosophizers required sparring opponents in the battlefield of the intellect. To challenge your assumptions with my superior logic and taste will be a fulfilling task. Come in. Not really the reaction you were hoping for, but you'd say anything to get into someone's hive, so you'll take it. Oh, God. Oh, no, it's so gross. Oh, God, he has body pillows covered in slime. I know it's just like the... Oh. Wasn't he working as an assassin with Polypa? No, Polypa works alone. That was her whole entire, like, shtick that... Yeah, Polypa doesn't, like, she has no partner. That was her entire, like, part of her character. It was, Konil and Asdaya that were the partner duo. Wait, Mindfang's sword, where? Is that Mindfang's sword? I can't remember what it looks like, or is it one of these? I think it's this one? But didn't she say that he saved her or something? Oh yeah, Tegiri saved Polypa at one point, but they're not partners. Like, they're not a thing, a duo. They just happen to have encountered each other once. Anyway, Tegiri invites you into his hive with a sweeping bow, and you step into the foyer. The hive looks normal from the outside, normal by troll standards at least, but the inner decor has an entirely different vibe to it. It reminds you of Japanese architecture. Bottom right. Oh, this one. Okay. Tegiri takes off his sandals before entering the next room. You take off your shoes too, if you had any. As you step into his living room, you are assaulted, not literally thankfully, by an absolute smorgasbord of merchandise. This place looks like someone did a Google search for otaku collection and opened the first result. Posters and scrolls adorn every inch of wall available, and the inches of wall that aren't available are blocked by shelves containing all sorts of DVDs, manga, and other such forms of media. On a large glass shelving unit near the room's exit, you spy a veritable cornucopia of anime figurines, most of whom seem to be in various states of undress. You would like to describe it as a tasteful nudity, but you would also like to describe yourself as the most popular person on Alternia, and both would be a lie. Tegiri has arranged his merch meticulously according to blood color, from red at the bottom to fuchsia at the top. I see you're admiring my fine East Alternian collectibles. I polish them daily, and just as I polish my blade. Don't touch them, or you'll taste folded steel. You slowly retract your hand. You wouldn't dream of touching them. There was never, ever something that you were planning on doing. You won't even breathe on them. In fact, you step far away from the collectibles just in case. With that step, you bump into something behind you and hear a soft ruff. As you spin around to look, you see what must be Tegiri's Lucis, surveying you with an intense gaze. It looks a lot like a Shiba Inu if they were twice the size and had opposable everything. Honestly, watching it scuttle around like a monkey while sniffing at you is pretty entrancing. Eventually, you seem to meet its standards because it darts out of the room. You hear some rustling in what you assume is the kitchen. That was Tadashi Inu. Tadashi Inu. Tadashi Inu. That's pretty great. He taught me everything I know. I could not have asked for a better sensei. Yeah, dogs are great, you respond, and then immediately wish you could take that back. Dogs are great. That's gotta be the blandest possible statement you could have made. And possibly inaccurate, too. What's this thing called? A bark beast, a fetch fiend, a wolf gremlin? Oh, Tegiri isn't even paying attention to you anymore. He's busy perusing his shelves, picking out some DVDs. Per my viewing schedule, we'll watch a carefully curated selection of episodes from one classic and from one recent release. But, since you're a newcomer, it might be best not to jump into the middle of the Last Bout series, Philosopher Half-Iron. Perhaps we shall instead be given the first season of School-Fed Heroism and transition into some episodes of Kismet's Deck Morning? I have no idea what those are referencing. The original airing, of course, not the censored one with the ridiculous CGI dragon. Ugh. Looks like Tegiri intends to take full control of his morning activities, which you find entirely copacetic. The less you need to assert your own opinions and make your own choices, the less likely you are to fuck up. It's probably not a healthy way to live, but it's gotten you somewhere between 1 to 19 friends so far, so you're sticking to it. With deft and precise movements, Tegiri retrieves a disc from its container and pops it into the troll equivalent of a DVD player. It makes a slimy, chugging noise as it sucks the disc in, and like usual, you aren't sure if it's an inanimate object or a living being. Either way, you're a little disgusted. The DVD player hums, and Tegiri's TV lights up with a colorful title screen. You're ready to get settled in for the journey through the wonderful world of the animes, but he frowns and pauses the episode less than a minute in. Hang on. This isn't the correct copy. The localization on these lines was changed after the original translator was called by a purple blood for crimes against buffoonery. I specifically ordered the first edition and paid extra for it. This is unacceptable. Tegiri stops the DVD player, ejects the disc, and places it back in its case. Come, there's still time in the night. We need to go resolve this immediately. The shop that imported it for me is nearby. Yeah. Monkey D. Luffy's a valid trolling. He heads for the door and beckons you to follow, which you do. You guess it was too much to hope for a quiet morning inside, wasn't it? At least you get to go shopping for animes, which sounds fun enough. Will it be one of those fancy automated stores, you wonder? No, unlike most stores in Alternia, this specialty shop is run by a living troll, a fellow collector who would not entrust such work to automation. So one would expect, with an actual think pan involved, there would be no less careless mistakes like this. At least I'm on good terms with the owner, so I doubt there will be trouble. You, on the other hand, expect plenty of it. Pretty much everything on this goddamn planet has been trouble so far. Does he know how awful it is here? You don't want to human-splain to him or anything, but things are pretty awful here. Things are pretty awful here. Oh, you guess he knows. He's staring at one of the many billboards that line the streets, which has been defaced with bright red graffiti. It's saying some pretty nasty stuff about Triza. Rebel sentiments grow by the moment. Alternia lies on the verge of peril, a blade's edge. And not any blade, but the blade of a razor-sharp folded steel katana. Forged under East Alternian moonlight. Heated by the bellows breath of a magnificent Draconian Lucius. Cooled by the shimmering cascade of an acid waterfall. Crimes against buffoonery. And fit to be handled only by a true expert. Do you dance? You're a little caught off guard by that question. Dancing, as in moving one's body to music? In a way, yes. Moving to the sweet music of steel on steel, the rhythm of combat, the stiletto step that weaves death and glory into one beautiful motion. Do you dance? Oh, sword fighting, of course. You really should have figured that one out. This guy's dial has only 2 settings, talking about swords or talking about anime. Sometimes he gets particularly frisky and talks about both at once. You tell him that you don't know how to handle swords, but they seem really cool, and you'd love to learn. Cool. Swordplay is more than cool. It's a way of life, a code of honor. To pick up the blade is to bind yourself to the tenets of Bushido. And to be prepared at all times to enforce justice the only way a swordsman knows, through steel. Someday the pursuit of justice may bring me face to face with these rebel scum. I must be ready to show them the true magnificent terror of the blade. Who knows? Maybe I would even be awarded a Clown's Gresham Medal of Honor. Clown Gresham. A troll can dare to dream. So that's why he practices swordplay, huh? To enforce justice, kind of like a vigilante? Vigilante, please. I would only ever call a troll who legally deserved death. What kind of lawless moron do you take me for? You don't take him for a moron at all. In fact, he's very smart and clever, and just... You hope you're not laying it on too thick, but he seems to enjoy the praise. Ah, we're here. This won't take too long. He's taken you to a night market that reminds you of the place where you met Polypa. A strip mall lies to the left of the many tents and stalls, and inside above one door reads, Super Tapado Imports. Is that Troll Mega Man? That's amazing. I love that. As you enter, Tegiri makes a beeline for the counter, and which is manned by a greasy-looking Goldblood with pinkish-looking eyes. You, on the other hand, are more interested in the rest of the store. It looks a lot like Tegiri's living room, but bigger. Anime figurines on sale for what looks like to be a preposterous amount of money, DVDs and comics lining the shelves, arcade games in the corner. There's even a selection for replica swords, which all looked far too sharp and legitimately deadly for your liking. Skulking between the shelves is an olive blood guy. You can't quite tell if he works here or if he's just browsing. You're not sure if any trolls even have normal jobs. You're about to ask the olive guy about a particularly interesting DVD when you're distracted by a commotion at the counter. You pretty sure you heard Tegiri snarling something about his rights as a consumer? Looks like trouble's brewing. You turn your head toward the counter and listen in. Do you really think you can get away with ripping me off like this? Do you know who I am? My blood class? A teal blood like me has connections, a vast network of like-minded souls at my beck and call, ready to be unsheathed against my hapless foes. The legal force I can bring to bear against you is greater than your puerile mind could ever imagine. A fleet of legislators will descend upon you like shadow clones, each armed with the greatest weapon of them all, knowledge. And with our intricate understanding of the Alternian legal code, you will be mired in suits so myriad, so mind-numbing, you will wish for the swift and early death my blade can provide. Or, you can offer me an exchange of equal or greater value to my original purchase. Which path will you choose to walk, scum? You wander closer to the counter, hoping you might be able to help resolve the situation, but instead you blunder right into the olive blood and send a box tumbling from his hands to the ground. A bunch of assorted products spill out as the shopkeeper gasps dramatically. You don't see what the big deal is, looks like some more DVDs and manga. One cover features a troll with heart-shaped horns and a bright pink sign, and another features some red-blooded douchebag wearing pants way too tall for him. Tegiri picks up one of the mangas and waves it in front of his shopkeeper's face. Care to explain what I'm looking at here? Imperial Dictate, number the 2nd, section 3.2. The depiction of non-standard hemological attributes is strictly forbidden. Imperial Dictate, number the 7th, section 5. Material which encourages action against the state is considered contraband of the highest degree. The olive blood, who can clearly see the situation careening downhill, looks like a skeleton buggy without wheel stops, begins to creep towards the door. You'd love to do the same, but you can't give up on a potential new friendship. It's basically pathological. To think that my favorite Eastern Alternian hobby shop could stoop so low as to peddle this criminal filth. What a sickening betrayal. The shopkeeper stammers, offers a litany of muddled explanations that only seem to incense Tegiri further. He was holding it for a friend. No, wait, it's satire? Tegiri slams a palm down on the counter, and his eyes shoot open, revealing dark purple irises with a strange swirl pattern. What? Oh god, is that a Sharingan reference? I was like, wait a second, he's a purple blood. What? Imperial Dictate number the 61st, section 2. Satire is especially contraband. You think you can mess with me? I've watched countless hours of legal drama, played and replayed legendary legislator, and memorized every twist, under the law, back and forth. And now it's time for the punishment. It's time for the punishment due. You're fucking dead, kiddo. As Tegiri leans over the counter, his free hand grips the hilt of his katana and tenses, ready to draw. He's about to straight up execute this guy. Defend the shopkeeper. That's probably a bad route. Okay, you know this is a terrible idea, but you've seriously had it up to here with being party to the murder of random trolls. You quickly interpose yourself between Tegiri and the Goldblood. Does he really have to kill this guy for what seems to be his first offense? You launch into an impassioned spiel about love and friendship and justice, writing the value of forgiveness and second chances really hard. And for good measure, you throw in a little side note about how Tegiri's favorite shop will close if he kills this dude. Silence. Tegiri shoves you roughly aside, and you go careening into a display full of body pillows. You watch, stomach plummeting, as Tegiri turns back to the shopkeeper and slowly draws his sword. But then at the last second, he reconsiders. Consider yourself lucky I'm in a good mood. If I catch you selling contraband again, your life will be mine. Tegiri strides out of the store, holding a fresh copy of the DVD he wanted to exchange. You give the shopkeeper a vaguely apologetic look and rush out of the store behind him. Whew, that was a close one. You thank Tegiri profusely for listening to your dumb little speech about whatever it was you said. Honestly, you already forgot. Yeah, the copy passed it, yep. Senator Lemon Snout is a yellow scale mite used by Terzi in flirting sessions. Yes, Senator Lemon Snout. I saw him back there. You're clearly new to this planet. I felt pity for your naivety. But I should have just killed him. Death is the legally prescribed punishment for such crimes as his. Actually, it's the legally prescribed punishment for most crimes. I should have separated him from his head. But I looked into your pleading eyes, and I saw. Tegiri goes quiet. You would describe the silence as being particularly brooding. There's a lot of silences like this on the planet. Then finally he speaks. This isn't my first time. It was just over a sweep ago, I believe. I was patrolling the Hive batch in search of evildoers when I caught the unmistakable scent of smoke in the air. Upon pursuing the lead, I saw a hive partially collapsed, partially on fire. My instincts flared, and I rushed in to help the innocent soul who was trapped there. But I was helping the girl bandage her wounds. It occurred to me that I had made a grievous error in judgment. Trolls below a certain age without a lucis or a proper hive are considered unviable and slated to be culled. By rights, I should have put her out of her misery the moment I realized my mistake. And yet, I looked into her deep gray eyes, dulled from the pain of loss, and I sheathed my blade. In fact, even though she is hiveless and lucisless, I remain in contact with her to this day. Knowing deep down that one day I must kill her, the law demands it. But I haven't yet. I don't know if I could. Why does my conviction waver at times like these? If he's talking about who you think he's talking about, you're pretty sure he couldn't kill her even if he tried. But that's not the point here. The point is he's feeling some real and true and deep emotion with you. Their friendship is basically in the bag. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be like an actual, assassin. Because if Polypa can beat his ass, I mean, she's a pretty good one, though. Just gotta drop some sweeping vague wisdom that makes him feel better about potentially not being an unthinking cog in the Alternian murder machine. You offer a light suggestion that maybe what is legal and what is just aren't always the same thing, just a little thought. Maybe he's doing the right thing, overlooking your situation because of how obviously fucked up it is to be a homeless orphan. He goes silent for a long time, chewing his bottom lip. You're naive. Naive, uncultured, unenlightened. Wow, thanks. You think the world is simple, like a cartoon for children. But this is Alternia, a land ruled by cold logic, where men such as myself must make the hard decisions. It's not easy being dedicated to the code of law. It asks much of us and gives us little in return, but it gives us order. It keeps the beasts at bay. If I were to question it, what then? Would I begin to wonder if it was unjust for a blue blood to command his servants, for imperial drones to cull the infirm, for us to obey the ever-changing whims of the Alternian royalty? It takes a lot of effort to suppress your, well, yeah, but for the sake of this burgeoning friendship, you allow him to continue his monologue. Riots in the streets, troll killing troll, even more than usual, I mean. No, I cannot waver. These hands must remain steady and true. Though I feel a pull towards the scorching fangs of the light, I must continue my path and remain in the tender, righteous embrace of the dark. Truth be my blade, intellect my sensei, and justice my only companion on this lonely road. I think he takes himself too seriously in his work, but he's still a hitman. I don't know if he actually is. I think, like... I think he just sees himself as literally an enforcer of the law. He's a teal blood, so he's a lawyer, right? Like, we're legislator or that kind of thing. And he just... all the people he kills, I think he just goes after easy, like, legal targets, like the guy who runs the shop. Like, what's that guy gonna fight back with? Books? I don't think he has any actual fighting skill. I think he does go around killing people, but not as a hitman. I think no one hires him. Like, he doesn't have any actual skill, but he just goes around killing people that he thinks are breaking the law. But easy targets. He goes on like that for quite a while. It all starts to muddle together in your head, and you lose count of how many times he's repeated some screed about justice and truth and being smarter than all the other trolls in the room. It also sounds to you like he's just lonely. You know a whole lot about loneliness and the poor management thereof. Some people throw themselves into their nerdy anime hobby, and others become obsessed with making friends no matter what the cost to their mental or physical well-being. You're either one or the other. Maybe he just needs a couple of good pals to remind him what it's like to have a heart. But if you try to tell him that, he'll probably just respond with another long and winding monologue, likely stolen from an anime he watched recently. Maybe you should just let him vent. You have my thanks for lending me your ear. Oh, a compliment brings you out of your reverie. Nothing interrupts the old introspection machine like the opportunity to chug on the succulent ambrosia that is any kind of praise or gratitude. It's no big deal, you tell him. You're a great listener. That's what friends are for. Has he considered having more friends like you, for example? He opens his mouth like he's about to reiterate the whole lone swordsman thing, so you hastily try to change the topic. What's with his eyes? Most trolls you've seen have gray irises, and those who didn't follow the typical biological trend of displaying their blood color. Tegiri pauses, his grip tensing on his sword as his fangs dip into his lip. Oh geez, this must be his most closely guarded secret. Have you earned enough trust to hear it? They're contact lenses for cosplay. Oh, fair enough. Actually, is cosplaying as a different blood class even legal on this planet? If he's doing it, it probably is, right? You're about to ask when something distracts you, the sight of another troll standing in front of Tegiri's hive, using it as shelter from the rising sun. They're pacing back and forth with precise movements, glancing at one of the windows almost like they're plotting to break in. And when they hear footsteps approaching, they perk up and roll their head around. Hey, wait a second, you recognize them. Pilippa! Pilippa spots you before Tegiri spots her. Her expression is hard and stoic, eyes glancing between the two of you as she assesses the situation. And then, like she's throwing on a disguise, her face softens and she smiles. Hey, Tegs. I was starting to wonder where you were and if anime night was cancelled. Ulysses is staring at me through the window. I think he thinks it's funny watching me stuck outside. Roasting to death while you're chasing poor beasts around the hive batch. Classic Tadashi. Why were you late? Just busier than expected, with some work. She shoots you a sharp glance. Assembling some new mecha models, you know how it is. Yes, of course, it's all too easy to get wrapped in one's hobby. Anyway, I didn't realize we have a third for once. Not to mention somebody I know. Nani, you and my new kohai have already met? She pauses, her eyes darting back and forth between you two once more. She seems to be assessing the situation, wearing a look like an assassin trying to evade capture. You recognize that look, considering she was literally wearing it the last time you met. We're kind of Morels? Whoa, that's absolutely not what you thought you were, but you just kind of nod your head and roll with it. It seems to be what she wants you to do. Oh, Morels. Tegiri's face tightens almost imperceptibly, but you caught it. Nothing gets past your honed, friend-making eyes. Well, actually, a lot of things gets past them, but not this particular thing. You're finely tuned to the nuances of social situations, as long as those nuances don't involve making a binary choice in which your social future hinges. Well, as you know, I'm far too busy studying the blade to pursue quadrants of any sort. A foolish waste of time. Were it not for the laws of this land, I would swear them off entirely. Are you sure it isn't that you just can't get a date? You don't have to play the mysterious loner, you know. There's other clubs you can join instead of insisting on running your own. He huffs, looking away. You hear his Lucis barking from behind the window, in a tone that sounds like laughter. Fools mock that which they cannot understand. And to think I was going to congratulate you on finding love. Fools mock that which they cannot understand, eh? You who was just mocking the quadrants not a sentence earlier? And once you finished your spiel about romance being dumb, Philip gives him a light, friendly whap, which he responds to with a smile. You can tell the exchange is friendly because not only he's smiling, but because he's still standing. Enough banter. The harsh glare of the sun begins to crest, and we have an Eastern Alternian animation to indulge in. I'll allow you both to spend the day at my hive if needed. There's space. Oh shit, a slumber party? With more than one participant, even. That's gotta be worth extra fun points. You are so in. Shelter from the broiling death orb in the sky barely even registers to you as an added bonus. Philippa smiles at you as the three of you enter Tegiri's hive. Tegiri covers up all the windows to block out the sun, and then starts up the new copy of his DVD, which thankfully seems to meet his standards this time. You settle in on the couch, basking in the warm glow of friendship, and prepare to lose yourself to hours of the beautiful, wonderful animes. Yay, I made friends! I made friends! Okay, there was a bad route I missed in there somewhere as well. Because I clicked on something and be like, oh yeah, this is definitely the bad route, and then it wasn't the bad route. Okay. Oh, right, at the beginning here too. I chose subs originally. Dubs. Perfect, a fellow connoisseur. Let's continue. Does that not matter? Yeah, it doesn't... Okay, hold on. Both are good. His expression immediately sours, as a look you're all too familiar with. If he had a mouse, you'd be frantically scrolling the wheel upwards to roll back time and make a new choice. But you live in the real world, where you have to face the consequences of your god-awful anime opinions. Have you no conviction? Pardon me. Oh, I'm starting to lose my voice. The Anime Club is a sanctuary for those of strong will and finely honed arguments, not a shelter for cowardly pissants. What debate can come from a sycophanted toady such as yourself? How are you going to stimulate my intellect? You begin to sputter and protest. You've plenty of stimulating. You've got a pretty long list of friends who you've stimulated in all kinds of ways, platonic ones mostly, but he's not having any of it. There are other anime fans in the city. Perhaps their gatherings will be more to your level. Farewell. God damn it. Right. Oh, Tegiri. Goodness me. Okay, now for the other failed route. Subs. Okay, so don't intervene. You really don't want to get in between the shopkeeper and Tegiri's sword. For all you know, this really does warrant an immediate execution. Who are you to judge? You do, however, squint a little so you don't have to see the full gory detail of the culling. Turns out it's not nearly as gory as you expected. Tegiri leaps over the counter and swings wildly at the guy, but many of his attacks fail to connect. Yeah, he's not any kind of actual assassin. It's mostly a bunch of bombastic anime-style moves that don't translate well to actual combat. Still, some strikes hit home, drawing a spray of murky gold blood that jolts the shopkeeper out of his petrified fear. He screeches and unleashes a strobing psionic blast from his eyes, causing Tegiri to stagger back, disoriented. The flash of light doesn't seem to have caused any real damage, but it offers the perfect opportunity to flee. By the time your eyes have adjusted, the only thing they see is the back door swinging wildly in his wake. Unsurprisingly, the olive blood is nowhere to be seen as well. Was that olive blood? Oh, no, wait. The shopkeeper was a gold blood. I was like, wait, olive blood psionics? No, okay. Tegiri glances down at his katana stained with the blood of the shopkeeper and slowly sheathes it. His hand is shaking, claws tapping the hilt restlessly. Yeah, he's never actually hurt anybody before. That's pretty, like... Remember Conil? Remember, like, big girl, stabby claws? Big stabby girl? And how, like, she was like, you're shaking, like, such a newbie, you've never killed anyone before? This is Tegiri. Yeah. Wrong, we actually don't know about olive blood psionics. As far as we know, they are completely unreactive. Nowhere has any olive blood have actually any psionics. He turns slowly to you, forcing himself back into his usual stoic posture. He got lucky, that's all, but he can't hide forever. Let's go, we need to report this to a drone. He strides out of the shop, leaving you to follow hurriedly behind. What a mess. You hesitantly ask him whether that was really necessary to try and kill that boy for what he did. Of course it was. The law is absolute. A foreigner like you might not understand. It is not my duty to question the righteousness of my actions. I am but a tool through which the law is enforced. I am the blade that Her Imperious Condescension wields to maintain order in this world of chaos. Oh, that was a hiccup. Pardon me. Just like this drone. He gestures to one of the big hulking drones that you've grown all too familiar with during your stay here in Alternia. Right now, it looks like he's cleaning up some bronze-colored blood that was splattered on the side of a building. Tegiri approaches and hails it, beginning to explain that there's a collector's shop he needs to report for rebel activity, but the drone isn't listening to any of that. It slowly turns from him to stare directly at you, and it raises its weapon to your face. A grating electronic noise issues from its metallic grill, in the immortal words of their wise cartoon dog, Ruh-roh. Hold it! This creature is under my protection. It has committed no crime. If you continue this attempted culling, I will strike back with my katana. And a strongly worded letter to your superiors. The drone seems supremely annoyed that it can't just get right down to culling a motherfucker, but Tegiri's cast might be just high enough to give it a pause. You, the motherfucker in question, are incredibly relieved. True, but I've always heard psionics attached to low bloods in general, and Olive is low. Olive is actually mid-blood. It's not low blood. It's specifically called mid-blood in lots of different places. It's like lower middle class, basically. But psionics are also not just attached to low blood class in general, because we have, like, so many of, like, pretty much every Scorpio class we've seen has some kind of psionic more rather than not. Except for, I think, Amicia? Then, of course, there's always, like, the purple-blooded Chuckle Voodoos, that kind of thing. Fuchsia and, like, the Seed Dwellers don't seem to have any kind of natural psionic. And then there's Equius's cast, which I don't think has some kind of psionic, but it has that weird, like, super physical strength. So there's not necessarily a rule here. Let's see. But yeah, it's just like the three lowest casts, Maroon, Bronze, and Gold have the most, like, famous set of psionics. The, like, Telekinesis, Laser Blasts, and Animal Communion. Which, funnily enough, it seems to be the kind of psionic that Zebede has. He doesn't seem to have, like, the gold blood, like, laser blasts, like, / telekinesis. He seems to have animal communion, which is interesting. You the motherfucker in question are incredibly relieved. That relief... Oh, I'm losing my voice now, damn. That relief quickly fades when the drone produces a palm husk with a blurry picture of you on the screen and a lot of text beneath, most of it flashing red. It's never a good sign. It looks like a rap sheet. Tegiri reads it through quickly, which is a pretty impressive feat considering his eyes are still closed, and his impression darkens the further down he gets. Wanted under suspicion of meat product theft. Heist of fine art? Accomplice to the assassin of a violet blood? Ooh, if you didn't realize you'd racked up such a heavy list of crimes, he's already rounding on you with fury radiating off every inch of his being. It's terrifying. You've seen this guy arguing with a retail clerk. You know what he's capable of. All this time I thought your soul was open to the way of the samurai. I thought I had met a potential new connoisseur of the animated arts. But no. Your blood pusher pumps only lies through your villainous veins. You were just looking for an alibi, a place to bide your time, to hide away from the drones until it was time to indulge once more in your criminal ways. You tried to defend yourself, but you didn't do any of those things, and you had a perfectly good reason for most of them. Tegiri isn't buying it. He's clutching his katana's hilt so tight, veins are bulging on his hand. Silence, coward. The time has come for my blade to strike true. Ha! He draws his blade in a smooth motion and swipes at you, and you just barely manage to sidestep the attack. You dart backwards, stumbling over yourself in your haste to get away, while he swings his katana wildly around, making lots of weird grunting noises. Once again, his mouth has been writing a check on his sword and can't cash. But you doubt that matters when trolls are stronger and faster than you in general, and he's accompanied by a giant murder drone. It's time for you to split, and you better do it lickety. Glancing around, you notice you're about to cross over a bridge, with an underpass beneath it. Perfect. Just like an action hero, you hop right over the edge of the road, duck into the underpass, and find a nice hiding spot. You dash towards the traffic barrier, vault nimbly over, and oh Jesus piss, this is way higher than you thought it was. You hit the ground hard with a resonating crack, and for a moment your vision goes blank as a wave of pain sears your nerves. As the pain disorientation begins to fade, you decide it's about time to take stock of your situation. A couple of broken bones, old hat, a troll trying to kill you, not unfamiliar, drones attacking you, same, and sun about to rise and scorch you into nothing, again. Individually, you've risen to the challenge of just barely handling each of these problems, but all at once, yeah, you think you're just gonna call this one here. Useless. Oh, Jesus. I just love the tattered, like, stickman drawing aesthetic of it all. Okay. So, I am, like, 90% certain Tegiri is a knight. Like, 90% certain. Yeah. He clearly is putting up that, like, cool guy, I am cool facade. I can see, like, hints of both Dave and Dirk in him, mostly just for, like, his interests and personality and stuff like that. But there was also that little hint of, like, he does, in his own way, seem to be kind of questioning things. Like, he obviously follows this, like, code of ethics and stuff like that. And also, I just think it's really funny because he's a hero of Void, and Knight of Void is, like, the Classpect that I gave Batman once upon a time. So calling Tegiri Batman just feels really nice to me, because, yeah, I like that a lot. So I'm just going for Knight of Void purely for that, because it does fit, it does work, and it makes him Batman. So that's that. So this was fun. I'm also losing my voice, so I'm gonna stop now. I will post this up onto the YouTubes very soon. And thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you thought that was fun. As for Volume 11, I know it's like a thing that's happening super soon, but it's probably not gonna happen for me until next week, because weekends are the only time off I have, pretty much. I think it's coming out Monday, but, like, I've seen things in, like, the Tumblr tags about it already. I don't know. It seems to be out on one platform and not on the other ones, like the ones that I use, my computer. Okay. Anyway, to wrap it up, Zebede Tongva is Gempio, sign of the concise. He's a page of light and a prospect dreamer. And Tegiri Kalbur, Libertarius, sign of the hidden, hero of, not hero of void, knight of void, and the Durst dreamer. Okay. They're two sides of the same coin, but they're like night and day. Page, night, light, void, prospect, Durst. Two sides of the cringe coin. Okay. Bye-bye.